Happy Tuesday, people. We're back. We're back again. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing good. Hopefully, some of you caught some of those overnight longs. What a beautiful move for continuation. All right, once we reclaimed that 920 level that we talked about yesterday, that old naked point of control, we're now basing over it, and you can see where we're attacking. All right, so we're going to go over all the charts now, all the way top-down analysis. And then I'll trade with you live into lunch. Okay, so as always, starting on the daily, what do we have? Well, yesterday, gap down, opened up, drove higher, closed near the highs. We expect what continuation? What are the targets? You can see all the stops here dating right back to the 5th of November, right back here. We have a gap fill in here, all right, especially on the ETF. So I'll go over it on QQQ. There is a gap fill there that it might be looking to do to be an efficient market. It doesn't need to do it today, but it might be something it wants to do. So we have all these stops: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Even this guy here has now been taken out. 14. All these stops here, these are daily stops, all right? Lots and lots and lots of stops. Every time we come up here, we've rejected. We've come up, we've rejected. We've come up, we've rejected. But this is 1, 2, 3. This is time number 4. All right, so imagine if there are passive sellers, all right, sat here unloading, how much more inventory have they got to unload? I would guess not very much, all right? They've had 3 months, right, from November 5th. November, December, January, coming up to, so December, January, coming up into Feb, 3 months of unloading inventory there. It doesn't mean it has to break through today, but I would say it's a very, very good chance at some point we're going to get some form of breakout. Whether that sustains or not is another thing. All right, so what we're looking for today, we have this top Bollinger Band. You can see starting to point upside. Look at the 5-day turning around, starting to come up through the 20-day. And we might get one of these channels if we can sustain a break and hold here, and then we can start to do this move for Q1. All right, it's not what anyone expected, but it's very much looks like how we're setting up. The only other thing on the daily we could potentially it will look for is a fail break, a gap fill, and then this to be the false break, and this move here for the rest of Q1 and beyond. So lots to play for. This week will be telling as we get into, especially from tomorrow onwards. All right, FOMC 97% chance of no rate cut, but what's more important is actually the mag and what happens afterwards. All right, let's go down into the hourlies. We can look at the profiles that are starting to develop here. All right, so those of you who traded with me yesterday will know we were taking these longs. All right, we were long yesterday for the push towards this old naked point of control up into here. I think it was 890s, that was it. Called it 920s. It was 890s. All right, so our long yesterday was from here up into this move into this guy here. We completed that, and then we were risk off. And what you've had is a pullback overnight. All right, if we think about previous week's value area high, this guy right here, pullbacks overnight, surprise, surprise, held previous week's value area high. That was also previous day's value area high. So you've got Confluence there. So if you were playing in the Asia market, well, there's your long trigger, and there's the expansion. All right, you've taken out all the key levels now. We're now successfully basing above at 890, aren't we? All right, so we pulled under it, we've got back above it, and we're starting to drive higher, and we're coming into supply here. So we don't really want to be long here at the highs. Unfortunately, what we've got here setting up in the market is anyone who is swing long, right? Anyone who's swing long from down here, or even here, or even entered with us yesterday here, all right, they have both things on their side. Remember, they have location and momentum. All right, we always talk about that. Prime location, discount location, great momentum. If we're long today up here, unfortunately, we have no location, but we have great momentum. All right, so we don't have both these things. So we need to wait, really, for some setups to come in. Now, what will those be? Ideally, it will be a back test of some of these key levels. All right, so anything into here where we can see some buyers stepping up, some form of absorption. This, by the way, is current developing week profile. So you can see we get thick in here from sort of 915 down to 865, right? Anywhere in here where we see buying absorption taking place, sellers getting stuck, we can look for this continuation higher as long as it hasn't taken out all the stops. If we fail in here, all right, the next spot is these previous day value area lows, previous week value area highs. All right, same kind of thing, looking for this. If we give this whole thing back under here, you want to be very careful, all right? If we do not see absorption here, we can rotate all the way back down. This can still be a breakout retest, which can still be absorbed. So these are the areas I'm interested in looking long. In here, potentially in here, but more likely on a reclaim here. So this level here is big for me, these sort of 920s, and then down here. Underneath that, I become far less interested in the bullish play, all right? When will I be really uninterested in the bullish play? If, right, if we go and pop all these stops, I'm going to have to zoom this back, this block up here. If we go and pop all these and it hasn't given me an entry, right, there's only something I can wait for is a retest, build out to go higher. If we don't see that, if we see this move then, I become far less interested in it because it means we've had a failed breakout and then a rotation is probable again. All right, so have to be aware of that. It's all depend. What do we take? When do we take it? What's available? All right, moving up into the 5 minute, you can see this is the move we just talked about. The Asia move, there's your double bottom, the reclaim and the drive, London sideways. So we're waiting now. Can we get a retest here or do we see a break and retest to buy? I do want to go through the ETFs and the Qs because they're going to be important today. All right, so let's just take you on to the Qs up here. Okay, one thing I want to be aware of is this up here, all right? 632 is a gap fill. Move you out into an hourly, you will see it. All right, this is a big gap fill from, I think it was 5th of November. Yeah. All right, so this mark here, this close, we've never filled this gap. All right, the highest we've got is up into here, into the 26 or 27, 627. All right, we're comfortably inside that right now. This is the gap fill. This was after hours. The gap fill, the cash gap is to 632. So I am aware of that as we come into it. Hence why I've got a price alert there marked out, because this might be, it might be, right, that this is all they're trying to do. And that can be the fail break. I'm not saying it is, but I need to be aware of this. It's a big level for the market to be efficient. So that's one thing I'm watching for the Qs. It's not quite so obvious on NQ, but it's a very obvious gap on the Q. So be aware of that. As we roll down these and go through the ES and the spiders, right? ES getting very close for the breakout, right? Not too far away right now. All I'd say is check your sectors. Right, healthcare very, very weak. UNH was weak off earnings. We saw healthcare not really get going yesterday and this morning as well. It is showing some weakness. So it might drag the market, not necessarily down, but it might stop ES moving as much as it would want. It really depends if those other sectors, like obviously tech's worth a lot, but like finance and stuff like that, if they start to pick up some of the weight. SPY, same thing, right? SPY, you are very, very, very close to this all-time high breakout. You can see I've got it marked out here for all-time high. It's worth setting price alerts for these guys just so you can then see if it's a fail break or not. Dixie getting absolutely clapped like we've been talking about for a long time. This is the expected move, coming right down back inside. And the more this collapses, well, the more rotation you're going to see into safe havens like gold and silver. I told you yesterday, silver was just a flush to be probably scooped up. And, well, look at that, all right? There's no breakdown yet. Now, if we have failed follow-through in the next few sessions and we start to see, you know, failing to make new highs, then you can think about the backside move. But yesterday was nothing more than a pullback, guys. So everyone got very excited. Yes, there was a lot of volatility. But until it proves otherwise, all right, we are not backside of the move. You're going to need to see a fail break and starting to see a collapse down. Same story on gold. Still looks good, still holding. All the time Dixie's rotating off, you're going to see safe haven moves back into this. Are they due a pullback? Absolutely. Of course they are. Full Sigma moves yesterday. But, you know, we can only play what's in front of us, like I always tell you guys. VIX, all right, VIX opening up in the mid-teens right here into some sort of old support system here. Still sort of holding this channel. We can probably move this out a little bit, something like this. Right, still in this channel. Right, we've had that big swipe, and really this is kind of no man's land. This is grindy area, so we have to see what gets going on the VIX. If we look at the previous few days levels, yeah, there's probably a pivot here. You can see this was the gap fill we talked about yesterday. I'd be watching a break on VIX above 1620, 1625. Maybe then it gets going. Right, let's have a look on the mag. All right, nice gap up on Apple. You can see that red bar was resistance, so we're now going to use that as a potential support mechanism. Remember, I'm still long Apple on the swings. right? Long from way down low in the 200s. And we'll see if we can get going now. This does now start to look like what we've been talking about the last few weeks. There's your build out of liquidity. There's your fail to break lower. If we can base out here, then guess what we've got? And obviously this week we have earnings season. So if we can get going off good earnings, it's got a shot. It has definitely got a shot. Amazon, same kind of story. Nice gap up. If we zoom this out a little bit on Amazon, right? Now holding above this gap. Building out the same kind of liquidity as long as it holds dips into 35s. There's potential rotation higher. Collapse 35 and it's a different story altogether. But 235s will be a key level on Amazon for dips to be holding. Goog, another gap up there. Nice drive higher. You're seeing the same story across the tape here, folks. All right, failed to break lower, build out the liquidity. Can it break higher? All right, this is the story of the tape. We're starting to see, remember, we talked about it. November last year, we saw rotation out of the mag into, some of the Russell and more speculatory kind of broadening of the market. Now we're seeing rotation back into the mag. Why? Because we have earnings this week. They're positioning early for earnings. Look at this position early for earnings. Big position. Look at Meta go. I'm glad I'm long in this one. This is an absolute steam train. That actually could do with a healthy pullback here. All right, we could do with a good pullback in Meta before it gets going. We've got some pivots up here. So something like this would interest me to add. I'm long from down here, folks. All right, those in Discord will know. I'm long from down here, sat through all of this. If we get another pullback for an ad, I will add on. And let's keep going through these. What's next? Microsoft. Same story here on Softy. All right. Dips yesterday held, or the day before held. All right, pivots down here, failing to break lower. Looks good. Just need to build out a bit more liquidity. This is pretty expansive here. We need a pullback to hold, or just base in here for a while. Looking strong so far, tech, on this rotation. Until we see failures, we're looking strong. Nvidia, same kind of story. Actually, a little bit more messy here on Nvidia because we built out a huge amount of liquidity here last year. If we zoom out of this, you can see across here. All right, so needs to get back in this range and do the dance to open up. That's a little bit messier, to be honest. All right, because you could argue that this is backside here. All right, so failures under here will be a problem for Nvidia under 75, but it's holding up all right now. It's not the prettiest chart though. Tesla, zoom out of this. That is a little bit messy as well. This is your pivot on Tesla, here to here. Here's your box. So they want to hold above 30s, and then they need to get a break above 50s and a hold. That's your pivot. It's actually a bit messy. We're just boxed in. So that's probably, if people are trying to play momentum in that, they're probably getting clapped both ways. Right, as an equally weighted mag, let's have a look. There you go. So equal weighted mag, having a good January, all right, up into here. So this is what we'd look for on the mag, and then this. It doesn't have to be like that. It can just be here and then go. But a little bit of a build out would be healthy for the mag if we're going to get going. All right, let's have a look at some broader names. We've got a couple minutes left. AVGO, weak. Netflix, still holding okay. Might need one more attempt to flush and a hold. AMD pulling back after that big drive out. Dangerously close to a backside move. 40s is the kind of level, 38s and 40s. All right. Again, if you're trading ES today, just make sure you understand how weak healthcare has been overnight. All right, UNH and stuff like that off the earnings. Okay, so I'm not long and strong out the open here. Really don't want to be long and strong out the gate here. What I'd love to see is dips. All right, I would love to see, before we come and take out the top of this red box, I'd love to see some dips into sort of, I don't know, 935 down to 885. This kind of box down here, I would be interested in. I definitely don't want to be long at the top. If it goes on a squeeze without me, it is what it is. Unless I can see something I'm really interested in, it's going to be hard to join this high. Does my indicator generate those buy and sell arrows? It does indeed, yes. All right, folks, just under a minute here. What's the plan for today? We're above previous value high and overnight close, looking for continuation, sweep or fail rotation. Yeah, exactly. We just went over it, right? Dips into here if they hold, somewhere into here. If they fail that level, then possibly rotation back down into here. But really, somewhere in here, right, I want to see something like this. I want to see passive buyers step up. I want to see aggressive sellers get caught. If I don't see that and they don't step up, we watch previous day's levels, and if we've collapsed under that, then we're going to come right down into here. This would be a short that I'd consider taking for the counter trend. On a higher time frame, that would be counter trend. Right. Let's see how we go, folks. Hopefully, market offers us something. Good luck, everyone. See if this can flush down a little bit for us to scoop something up. ES letting go of previous day high, by the way. I think that's previous day. Yes. So gap fill on ES would be down to 981s. Gap fill for us, by the way, is all the way down here. 850s. Long, long way away. Mag all opening up green. So Tesla 0.11% up. Nvidia 0.09% up. Microsoft 0.71% up. Meta and Google both 0.25% up. Amazon just about 1/3% up, giving some back. And Apple 1.50% up. So coming back down towards previous day high right now. And let's see if we can get into some of these areas for us to start bidding on. We'll be interested. We're already seeing some buyers try and step up here. It's a big drive up already. Buyers stepped in nice and early there. So held the 55s. There's a seller here at 95 and then all the way back up. So here comes the squeeze. So they're already trying it. So we didn't even get into our level. They've already tried to absorb it. I'd be watching ES into VWAP and previous day high here. If it starts to base above, it's got squeeze potential. Here we go. Right back to the upside. Amazing. Didn't get anywhere near where I wanted to participate down here. So looking for dips, but we actually need a dip, not just that first little thing. And we'll see. If we buy the order flow course, do we get Discord? No, you do not. It's only in the 20-hour course. Okay, some sellers were here up into the 15s and 20s. They've just left the tape, so we've got some early spoofing here. ES rejecting that VWAP and previous day high right now. Relative strength in the Qs. Like we talked about, expecting relative strength in the Qs today because of the MAG versus healthcare. Continuing higher here by the looks of it, and we're trying to see if these sellers come back on the tape. At the moment, they are long gone. So dips are holding here. They're looking to accelerate through and take out this Globex at the moment. Let's see if we can come up all the way up into this now. See if we can grab a piece if it's going to start to base and hold. Really want to buy much, much lower than this. I wonder if it's just not going to give them the opportunity today. VIX starting to get going. We want to be careful here of the divergence. VIX coming up to those 1620s. So if VIX starts to break through these 1625s, there's an upside move to 1650. Market will get weak, or at least the ES will. Let's see. Is there a day trade on silver? Let me have a little look. Might be if there's failed follow through. You're just stuck in Globex. I mean, I'd say if there's failed follow through at 110s, maybe. That's all I would consider playing off right now. But I think, you know, that would be a counter. That would be looking for that early move, counter trend almost. Watching this New York to see if it holds. I really want to be a buyer down here. It's just whether they're willing to let this go. Meta just gone red on the day. Tesla just gone red on the day. They're still absorbing that level. Come on, come all the way down. It'd be really nice. I was very tempted to buy up here, but nothing I've seen on the tape yet. Really want this breakdown into here, not for me to play short, for me to scoop long. VIX trying to get through this break. This 1625 break is what you need to watch on the VIX. So just wicked the low of day there and they got absorbed again. Sellers currently stuck underneath 67 on the day. Big seller was at 73, so you could even say under 73, but definitely under 67. It's where sellers have come in heavy. You can see it right here. This one, this one. Right, they keep coming, piling in down here. Under sort of, there you go, under 70. I would say it's, well, 73 and 68 is where they're marketing very, very aggressively in here. So hopefully we get a move lower. I'm not going to play the short. I'm going to wait to see if we absorb down here. I'm going to try and avoid that counter trend at the moment. Some absorption here again. Oh, I really want this market to get moving lower. Come on, come down, baby. Interesting. ES finding some strength here when ES NQ starting to make new lows. A little bit of a mess out here. I'm just going to have to wait for it to figure itself out. So coming down to previous day high, this red line, this is the area of interest down here. Previous day value area high, previous day point of control, and this big block. Anywhere down here where I start to see absorption on the tape, I'll be interested in getting long, especially if we can trap and start to curl and go. But want to be careful. If we stay heavy, obviously I won't bid on it. Here we go. This is better. So if you did take this counter trend short, you're looking good down into these boxes. Are your targets is previous day high, this red line. So you'd be cover point 1 here. Previous day value area high would be cover point 2. Previous day point of control. Anything beyond that is an absolute gift for you guys. I'm looking to get long in these areas. If I see sellers get trapped, right? If I see sellers get trapped. VIX going for that 25 break. It's currently trading at 1623. So you want to be careful if VIX starts to get going. There'd be a bigger flush in this market. ES now starting to join in for this move downside. How low can we go? Can we come down and offer me something to trade here, please? So into previous day highs, they are offering bids down at 908.95. So hopefully we can trade a little bit lower first in towards this blue block. Gap fills all the way down here if they really want to do a gap fill. Come on, almost at previous day value area high. So this is your TP2 if you took the short. And I'm going to wait to see if we can trap some sellers now. They're still being aggressive on the tape. They're still offering bids down to 890 right now. So it is previous day value area high now tagged, coming into my level of interest. And now it's all about how we act when we get down here. VIX going for it, still at 1624, still not fully confirmed that breakout yet on the VIX. Just right into a pivot. Lots of sellers coming in down here. Still don't think we've swept enough. Still think there's one more leg down. Come on, give a swipe first. Don't go and drive straight out the gate. Come further down. Buy stepping up here. 940 is the level. I'd say the big sellers came in at 38s. 40s is the level, but I want us to move lower first, really. I would really like some sort of nice auction down here where we trap lots near the lows. So IB high from yesterday, not too far away for a SPY either. Come on, one more leg, please. Come down. I'm not playing this short, by the way. I want to make that clear. I'm looking to play the long back upside. All right, watching these 40s. See if sellers redefend 40s. It's a big level. You can see them trying to offer at 40 again. Value area low on the current session is 42. So I guess if we go back inside all of that, I want to see more excess though. I'd like to see more sellers down here caught before I think about this long. We are starting to build some volume around here. So Meta, Nvidia, Tesla all gone red. But we're coming into that level, this box, where I think there's potential for us to bid on if we can trap sellers. If we don't, then they're going to come and reflush down here. And if they let go of this, then there's definitely a short all the way down into 725. So that was the level we broke out from. But watching this level again, they're tapping into 40s again, watching for a trigger long if they're going to let this start to really get going now. 40s, 40s, 40s. Here we go. They're now rebidding, trying to force the squeeze through the 40s in a small piece here. And we re-offer through here and come up to 55s. Here we go, starting to join this for the squeeze, peeling some off straight away in case they defend 55s. Nice. There's an imbalance here up to 55. So buyers now have got to step in and hold 40s. Here we go. All right, let's see if we can get up to the New York VWAP. Into flow zones, make sure you pay yourself. They can come back in and defend this if it's too early. We haven't had a pullback that's held yet, remember. This is just a straight squeeze. So ES into VWAP as well. Nice bounce there. Watching the New York Open on ES. If it trades through that, we'll get a giant squeeze out. But this is the 55 level that we just talked about. Sellers just re-offered at 55s. Through this, the next imbalance is at 62s. And then we're at VWAP. Let's go, baby. Come on. Get your ass moving. Imbalance coming up here. Let's go. Let's go. Little piece left now. And if we continue to squeeze and then firm up, I'll start to add. Right? If we continue to squeeze and start to firm up here, I'll start to add. All right, ES into that, New York Open and VWAP. Big levels here, folks. Big levels here, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, all given pre-market. Remember, this is what we were looking for. All right, even in Discord, the first thing we're looking for. This pullback here to hold and for that expansion higher. All right, hold towards 900s. We got a low of that at 918. Yeah, let's go, baby. You. Nice and easy. 2 days in a row. What a gift. What a gift. Right, this New York Open going to be key. Beautiful. Beautiful. The trap at the low was not that good, I'll be honest. But that 40 trigger was the key. All right, the 40 trigger was the key. Once they got stuck at 40, that was it. So tiny size left now. That's a 40, 50 point trade there. Nice, yeah. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Nice trade to start the day. Remember, we have not held a pullback yet. I want to be clear. I don't love the auction at the low. There wasn't that many caught. But a pullback can come down here and hold. If this is just leg one and they want to do a leg two and then do this, they can also do that. But so far we look good. You can just hold a runner now. Should be long from this trigger. Selling into the New York Open. No, selling into the New York Open. Have to see if they hold or not. I will reload if we can get up here and hold up here. If we start to flip this over. Otherwise, I'll stop out on these runners. New York Open, absolutely pivotal. Same on ES. Pivotal area. Nice, guys. Well done, everyone. All right, coming back down towards this sort of 40 area. So we did have sellers earlier in the day, 47 down to 43, and then the next block was down at 30. So I'd say 47 down to 43. If buyers absorb that, they've got a shot. Otherwise, it's going to be these 30s. Otherwise, it's going to be the 30s. ES looks strong here. It's trying to get through its New York Open and VWAP. So let's see if they're going to rebid this or not. have a quick look at the mag. So Tesla 0.5% down, Nvidia 0.33% down, Microsoft 1.53% up, Meta 0.5% down, Google 0.78% up, Amazon 0.40% up, Apple 2% up. So mixed bag in the mag as we approach earnings season. VIX failed that breakout of 25, by the way, hit a high of 1627, traded right back inside, back down to PDC now. Nice, Rob. Great work. All right, we're still holding these levels where those sellers got stuck. So these 43s still holding where the sellers got stuck. So as long as they're holding this, bulls are in control, potentially early in control before they squeeze back up. Here we go. Can they get back through? Point of control now for the day 66s. So we want to get back through POC, back through 76s, back through the New York high, rebid over that, and then I'll consider adding up there for a squeeze. ES now starting to get through VWAP and New York Open. Want NQ to start joining in. Need Tesla and Meta and Nvidia to start finding an aggressive bid here. Here we go. Let's go. Come on. Let's get back up there. Here we go. But I want to leave this point of control. I don't want to hang around these 66s too long. I want to move away from this. Let's get this volume on. Got to do it for you guys this morning. I'm sorry. Here we go. I want to move away from this point of control. Here we go. Here comes value area high on the day. And VWAP, let's go. Let's start being aggressive. Let's move away from this level, buyers. Let's move away from this level, buyers. Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful. Let's go. Really nice hold there of this key level. Right, where those sellers got stuck. So we talked about these sellers stuck in here. All right, right here against these 55s. We held it really, really nice. Morning, Ken. Can you buy the flow zones by themselves? Yes, they're on the website. flowzonetrader.com. All the links are down below. What is the all-time high of Nasdaq? 26648. Right, let me just check that on this new contract as well. No, new contract. So the new contract level is 26670. Yeah, on the NQH 26670. 48 would be the adjusted level. That means. Okay, sellers coming in there aggressively, trying to defend this New York Open. That's your key level right now. If we start squeezing through that, these sellers are going to get caught out. So still in a rotation of value. I think we can get going here. The lines are, the boxes on. I draw the boxes by themselves, right? But all the lines are on there. Everything else on the screen's on there. Okay, back into this level again. ES at its opening range high, just hit a new high of day, trading back inside its range right now. So no follow through yet on ES. Come on, market. We want to just get going high of day here. Come on, NQ. Be kind. Why can't you do what ES is doing? Let's find that strength. Let's find that strength. Just want to get through this New York Open and start squeezing up here. If we can't get through it soon, I'll consider a cut because we're building out a lot of volume. You can see this here, building out lots of volume here. So it's not what we want. We want to do this and move away from it. All right, I don't want to get caught in this rotation here for hours and hours on end if they're going to be really silly about it. Just been doing the section of the 20-hour course where you explain this, making more sense now. Nice. That's awesome. Glad it's helping. Yeah, news at 10 o'clock. Thank you, guys. Still got 10 minutes for that. Yeah, consumer confidence. Previous 89.1, medium forecast 90. So I'm expecting very similar stuff. Here we go. Back up. Now can we get going on this runner? Come on. Let's get up to higher day. ES is going. I really want to get up to higher day and then take out all these stops. I'd love to get up to basically 26,050. That's where I'd love to get up to. So if we can get this trade to go, this is what I'm looking to do here. Partials on the way, obviously. Where's my long trigger? All right, from 40s. All right, if we can get up to the top side of this box, it would be fantastic. Partials on the way, of course. We've got to get through this value area high on the session. Let's go. We've got an imbalance here into 90. Lower time frame algo, a little spike into 94. Let's go. Come on, baby. Let's go. You. That's why I said I'm bullish today. Pro trend is bullish. I want to buy dips off the key levels once sellers get stuck. Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it. 2 days in a row, market being kind. We love it. Okay, so into, what is this here? Is this developing profile? Yeah, current week's developing edge is basically 26,006. This right here is current week's developing profile. We want to expand this. We want to move this blue line higher with us now, right? And if we look at the hourlies, you can see why I was looking at and what I was looking at. We went over all of this pre-market, right? We were looking for dips to hold versus this key level here, dips to hold, right? The old naked point of control, this big bump. All right, and we're looking to take out these stops here now. All right, these stops here. And if we get a squeeze, those will run us up all the way up to 26,100. And what's the very top of this? We'll just call it 26,150. So if we squeeze through 26,050, we've got another 100-point higher potentially setting up. Here we go. How many other channels were telling you to short this today? I reckon lots of them. Here we go, folks. Here we go, folks. All right, so you can take partial into this current New York high of day if you want, if you haven't paid yourself enough already. My expectation is that we can move higher, hopefully. Just remember, we've got that 10 o'clock print, so you will want to move your stop, at least to protect you break even at the very minimum. Here we go. Let's go. Are we going to get 112 points here? And if we can get 112, then, you know, if we can squeeze, this is possible today, folks. 145 is possible today if we can get going. So that's ultimate target. Can we get long here? No, I would not advise getting long here. You will need now a breakout and a pullback that holds. You do not want to get long, right? Think about this move here. All the dips have held. You don't want to get long into high of day. Yes, there's an argument it will squeeze higher, but your location there is not very good for the longs. It's the same reason I didn't long at the open. We waited for this, didn't we? I said, I'm not going to play this short. I'm not going to play this long. There's a move down to here, but I'm going to wait for the long down here. I said to you guys, if you want to play a short down to here, that's for you. But I'm going to try and play the pro trend long, all right? The pro trend long. The easier move is the long. Okay, here we go. So back into where these buyers got stuck at the beginning of the day. We want acceptance through high of day now. Come on, guys. You better be smashing that like button today. You better be smashing that like button today and telling all your friends that this is the stream you watch when you want to learn how to make money trade. Globex hit. We're just looking to run these stops now. We're just looking to run these stops up here now. Boo! Boo! Let's go. All right, ES hit Globex as well. Come on. Give me 47s, baby. Let's get a limit order out there. Give me 47s, baby. Another 100-point trade here. Let's go. Pew, 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 pew. All right, you've got a little bit of an imbalance. You want buyers to absorb now into 26,007, ideally 26,009, but 26,007. and, you know, down into this shelf. You do not want them to let go of this shelf. Ideally, we just squeeze out and we hit our target before we get into this 10 o'clock candle. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Give me the target before the news, and then we can just hold a tiny piece in case. Remember, I'm trying to get into here. Squeeze above this. I will look for this next red box, right? We now want, buyers must defend this. We do not want acceptance under this. We want this. Ideally, just take this out. Don't be a dick for a tick, by the way. All right, if you want to take like most of your profit here, like 80%, take it off. And then I'm going to look to see if we use these stops. If we get all these stops run, we might get an absurd squeeze out into here, which would be fantastic. All right, so, but my stop now, I will be defending this level here. I do not want to see 26,007 go. So at least move it to 26,000. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Job done. Thanks very much. Thanks for playing, you fucking idiots. Trying to short the lows. You absolute wallies gifted me the trade today. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so we're in bonus territory now. If we get up into here, it's bonus territory. That is absolute gift if we get up into there. I know, guys. This is beautiful, beautiful trade. When the market's operating clean like this, it's so nice. Pro trends are so nice. I kept telling you guys when we're in a range, you think we're trading well now, wait until we get into a pro trend. And yesterday was the first day we got pro trend on the breakout, and today we're getting the same kind of move. So much easier. I cannot tell you how much easier it is. So TP's hit. These are your next blocks now. All right. If we get lucky, 26,100 and then up here on the runners. If you've got anything left. My phone blowing up. All right, guys. There you go. I love it. I love it, everyone. Second 1K day in a row. Nice. Nice, nice. Thanks, everyone. Hopefully you're just learning with me as well. All right, my ambition here is not just for you guys to make money. I want you to understand how we move and why we move. All right, that's all that really matters. Even if you didn't catch this today, you understand how we move and why we move. Inside bar trigger. It wasn't really an inside bar trigger today because we were actually opening up outside, right? So it was a continuation. All it was let me just move this up and try and manage it if I'm going to teach you. All right. If you were here the last few days, you will know that we talked about, right, if a daily is starting to do this, an hourly is doing this, and like a 5 minute or a 1 minute is doing this, right? Does that make sense? Right? We were at this point. We were here today, right? So we were opening up here. The morning pullback was this. We were looking to buy this, buy this, buy this, right? We wanted this pullback to continue higher, all right? That's what we were looking to do today off a key level, all right? So we had a support system here to buy off, right? Based on the previous day. There was a support system here to buy off based on the previous day. So we were playing the lower time frame. Pull back in, get long, let's go. All right, what did that look like? If we zoom this out to like an hourly. Let's draw out what this hourly looked like. So where's the pullback long? Here it is. Where did we get long? After we confirmed and held that. Where are we looking for? Break of structure into these, right? It's super simple, right? We get long here for this move here. If it didn't hold there, we'd get long here. If it didn't hold there, we would have probably got short there and then got long here for the pro trend. But the pro trend, look how we're moving. Dum, 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 dum. We're going to expect higher until it proves otherwise. All right, so if they base over this now, the last chance is a squeeze up. You've got news coming in here. I'd move your stop nice and tight now if I was you. You do not want to get wicked out on news. We have just had the low-hanging fruit. The only thing left is all the way up here. Either way, we're locking in. Let's go. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. I would love it if the news just absolutely gives us a 100-point ripper up to final target. I'd fucking love it. So seller here into 60s. News coming here, guys, in about 20 seconds. Move your stop nice and tight. I will tell you now that a big seller came in earlier at 34s, right? A huge seller at 34s or around here, all right? So we want to see this protected, right? You want to see this guy stay stuck. You want to see that stay stuck. If he doesn't stay stuck, there's probably a move down here. Here comes the news. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Not going to hold this underneath 34s. Getting close to stopping out here on the runner, which is fine. For 34s to defend, I can show you this guy right here. This guy right here, looking for this to be defended, 34s. Holding nicely here. This is a good auction. I will say there are buyers caught over 53s right now. So, you know, the rotation can happen between high of day and 35s or 34s if it wants. I will cut underneath that. If we can get over 53s, definitely, and then start squeezing through high of the day, we'll let those buyers out. But buyers are caught currently from 53 to high of day. Sellers keep piling in here at 50s. They're being absorbed every time there's a dip into 40s right now. You can see it on the tape. They keep being absorbed. Here we go. Can we get acceptance through? Here we go. So they're refresh selling at 65s. Through that, we can go 75s and 80s, just seeing what's on the tape here. So far, they're refresh selling into 60s and 65s. Every time we've dipped down into 40s, there's been a buyer stepping up, absorbing the tape. All right, but 34s, 35s is the key level. If I don't see what I want soon, I will just cut the runner. Sellers trying to get aggressive here. They're really trying to step on the gas and get this snap. Still a buyer sat here at 47s. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's get all the way up there for the runner. Come on. Refresh selling up here again into 65s. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. If YM is red and ES is fully green, does that mean could be high taken? I don't understand what you're saying now, my friend. Could be high taken. What do you mean? It just we're seeing a rotation, right? I said it a few days ago, right? November, December, early Jan, we were rotating out of the mag and we were rotating into broader markets because we've been very narrow. We've gone to broader markets. In the last few weeks, you've seen the rotation back out of the RTY and back into some of the mag. Why? Because we've got earnings this week. So they're putting some risk on into earnings. They're positioning themselves into earnings in case we have blowout earnings. Because if we do have blowout earnings, then there's a good chance NQ will take out this pivot of 26,150, 140 and come all the way up. Remember, the other thing to consider is that gap fill on QQQ. We went over it pre-market this morning, all right? Even if we're just going to be an efficient market and fail, there's a reason for the market to try and come up to 32 to fill this old gap dating back to the 5th of November. Maybe the market then fails there. Maybe it's just trying to be efficient and we get an all-time fail, a huge stop hunt, fill the gap and fail. I don't know, but all I do know is we are positioned long for this move to here because that's what we expect right now to happen. It doesn't matter anything beyond that. Like, you know, don't get caught sort of bitching and moaning about it's doing this because of this. It doesn't matter what it's doing. Your job is to make money. All right. So understand what it is doing and join for that move. Don't worry about anything beyond that. Is it just me, or does the market seem a completely different person since the new year? It's not that it's a different person. That's just that you're seeing rotation back into tech, in front of earnings season, right? That's all it is. Hi from Switzerland. Hey, how's it going? Just bought your course. Looking forward to learning more. Just found your live stream and I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose, but I'm loving it. Thanks for joining. Good night from Asia. Night, night, night. All right, ES pulling back. I'm getting ready to stop out the runner here, folks. If we can't absorb in front of 34s, I'm going to stop out of the runner. 900 watching over only 300 likes. Come on, folks. We've just hit 100-point banger again, or over 100 points. If you took the high, 125-point banger again. This is what, 3 or 4 days in a row? About to stop out here. This is where the seller came flying in at 34. So if we don't absorb here, I'm out. Very, very, very close to knocking me out here. Literally a tick away, I'm out. There we go. Out on the runner. Can always join back in. All right, so great trade there. This was our main target. Remember, this was just a runner target. Main target was right here, top of the red box. And we're starting to see this trade back inside now. And they can come all the way down to these 26,000s if they want. All right, so we can get rid of these because these are stops now. And we can put some volume in here of what we'll be looking at. So we can have this right here. I will tell you, in this block here, buyers are caught over 55s. All right, so sellers can defend all the way up to 55s right now. All right, so sellers, if they're going to look for a rotation, they will want to defend in front of 55 for this move down here. Buyers will want to absorb this big fat block here. Remember when we were here, I said, come on, I don't want to be here too long because in here we can do this. But again, what have we done today? Low-hanging fruit, boom, boom. Just like yesterday, low-hanging fruit trade. Money's made, right? Most of you should have made your money. And we can see what else we set up with now. Only verbal abuse because that's what he's into. I don't know what you're talking about. Alex, you showed the trapped sellers when they entered the trade. I think you mentioned that it didn't look great, but it was good enough. What was the trigger at 40? The 40 was the trigger because that's where the sellers were caught. Right, so if you look down there at the time, we had a big selling coming in underneath. Well, at the time, it was like 30 and under was big selling. In fact, let me just get you on here, and then I can just show you. All right, this right here. Right, this was the aggressive selling delta. All here. The reason I didn't like the low of day was I would have rather this been sell as well with a passive buyer rather than just a turnaround. But, you know, they obviously got caught. So if we look at here, 40s, right? All of this, most of this is sell volume under here. We're absorbing the tape. Once we broke over and held, that was your confirmation as well. Selling here, got caught again at the low of this candle. So trap sellers here, some trap sellers here trying to force that rotation back down in, and then we trade away from it. All right. We're coming right back up to those 53s that we just talked about. All right, so this imbalance, you can see where they stepped in, 53s. There you go. We just talked about it. So here's your sell side imbalance into here. Sellers will want to defend 53s. If they fail to defend 53s, all right, then this is possible up to the 26,000 and 26,045s, is it? Or 49s? I can't remember. I'm going to have to look on the other chart. All right, so sellers will want to defend this area here. If we make that make sense with volume, the gray box, right? Sellers will want to defend up to 53s. We can do it here. There you go, up to 53. Sellers must defend this. If they fail to defend that, there's a bigger squeeze for 26,100, 26,045s. All right. Do you anchor your volume profile to 930 every day or just let it rip? So 930 each day for the current developing profile. and then for the daily developing profile, and then I do the Sunday open each week for the weekly developing profile. So if you have a look right now, here we go, squeezes on here, folks. If you have a look right now, right, this is your, I probably should have traded off that. I've only just noticed that. That is my bad. This is the current developing weekly profile, right? And we've just held that dip into the weekly profile value area high. So they're trying to come into here now. Probably should have just added in that. That is actually pretty poor from me. I didn't notice it until just now. Anyways, is what it is. So they're trying to now, we've got to be careful because you're in 3 drives here. 1, 2, 3. So at some point you might see that re-pull down again. But these are the targets now. Red boxes are the targets. Here's the re-squeeze. Here we go. All right. So it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong today. It's on like Donkey Kong. It is on like Donkey Kong. Yeah, you could have gone long down here in the flow zones. You could have gone long on the reclaim. Especially if they hold now. If they now hold this level, I think they're just going to squeeze this high now. The shorts are so caught here. They're trying to fight the tape. This is the best process-focused stream I've landed on today. Thanks again. Oh, thanks for joining. Thanks for the kind words. Alex, is there a way to recognize trap participants on a candle chart, or does that require reading of the footprint? Yeah, not really, Rome. Very hard to see that on a candle chart because you don't have the information within it. So you can understand that, like, we pivot over this. You can make the assumption, but you can't see the specific levels within it. All right. So, but like candles are still useful, but you just can't see the specific levels. You can see a lot of sellers stepping up here. 75, 80, 85s. You can see it on Bookmap above me right now. All right, lots of sellers trying to defend this area. All right, right here you can see it. But if we keep adding liquidity, let's have a look above if we're into key levels yet. They're still up there. Let's see if there's anyone at 145s. There is. All right, 135, 145, even above. So we're trying to drive higher today, but you can see these sellers here starting to stack up. So next push into there, you'd probably wouldn't be a bad idea to take profit if you just retook this long. Not all of it, but like lock some in. I'm not in this anymore, folks. Like I said, if this dip holds, you could argue there's a reason to get long here if this dip holds, but we would be buying very, very high in premium now. Bit like yesterday, if you remember yesterday, same kind of story. It's all right. It's all right. There's another naked POC, is there, on ES710? Okay, that's good to know. Thanks, mate. I haven't got that marked out. Nice one. Good eyes. Good eyes. What time frame is the footprint chart? I normally use a 1 and a 5 minute, and occasionally I'll look at a 3 minute, or sometimes I'll even look at a daily for the day before just to look if there was a big area. What's my opinion on Friday's potential shutdown? I don't have an opinion on stuff like that. Like, who knows? Who knows? I hope they don't. I really hope they don't, because, you know, I don't want to go another 3 months with them cooking the books and putting out bullshit data. It just doesn't help us trade. We're going to be in a volatile environment enough as it is. We could do with some data points. Did not enjoy the government shutdown last year, losing all the data points. It's just got ridiculous. And then them coming out afterwards saying we're not going to go back and give you half the information you required. You know, I think it's less than ideal. But look, we will just see. We don't know what they're going to do, right? Let's just deal with it when it happens. We don't want to speculate. So over half of you still not smash that like button. Let's smash that like button. We can do some giveaways today. Again, I'll give away some Apex stuff. All right, still holding this point of control, starting to move up. Dip still holding here. There's an argument for this to trade higher. Like, if you're already in this and you're adding, probably, and didn't cut where I cut on this drop, makes sense to be firming up here for an add. But otherwise, I'd be very, very, very careful starting a fresh money position up here. Best type of plan for Bookmap? Mitch, just start with whatever the cheap one is. Global Plus, I think it is, for futures. Global Plus. Just make sure you've got data. Yeah, but Global Plus, I think, is all you need. Can you please let me know how I can learn everything you've taught this morning? Yes. Well, start on my YouTube. There's a lot of free stuff on my YouTube, right? Not everything, but there's a lot of good content there on YouTube, like key levels and initial balance trades and all that good stuff. Start on there, and if you like how I teach and you're starting to absorb it, then you can go on my website, and there's a 20-hour course on there that you can do. And with that, you get Discord as well. Comes for free for life, so one-time fee. I think it's, if they've updated it, it's $699. If they haven't, it's $649. And then if you like the volume and Orderflow course, you can do that as an add-on. So it's all on my website. Everything's there. But like, make sure you like how I teach. It's really important you like how I teach. There are people that live stream Bookmap on YouTube. I know there's a bit of a delay, but it's still helpful. Yeah, for sure. Like, if you can get it for free, it's not as accurate. You can't zoom in and zoom out. But if you're just looking for the levels of where passive participants are, it can be very useful, especially if you're just starting to learn. Webull just added a footprint feature on desktop app. Oh, nice. Yeah, I still like Webull. Like, I want to buy them cheap. I think there's an argument to buy them. Currently trading at 762s today. I've always got them on my watch list. All right, still holding here. There is still an argument for this to base and go higher. All right, so 26,100, 26,055. Again, I'm not buying up here. I'm out of position now. We got this long from down here to here. We just wait now and see. But if you're interested, there's an argument to take here. I would just be somewhat cautious. If we lose this grey box, right? If we lose this grey box, this is where all the volume will come in, and you'll see this probably into low volume node. And if they really want to pivot down into these, they will. These shelves down here. So this is why you've got to be very careful. If they lose this, there's quite a nasty drop in it. Right, so far, they've done it once. They've reclaimed. Momentum is still bullish. Flow zones are still supporting. I am not going to get long now. We've hit my targets. I will need to see a lot of participants trapped to convince me to get long now. VIX getting absolutely crushed. So remember 1625 we said was the pivot for VIX to break above and hold. This is why it's so important you understand all these key pivots. 1625, we went over this in the pre-market. Right here, look what happened once we got through it. All we did was sweep it and then get completely crushed. All right, this is helping the market go risk on. All right, risk on. When we do this on the VIX, right, helping the market go risk on. Just past 10 Apex evaluation accounts only trading live with you for less than 10 days. Thank you so much. Look how kind you are. $50. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that my teachings are helping you. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Still holding here, still got a chance. Still holding here, still got a chance. When you say passive but it's seller in the market, is that watching Bookmap? Yeah, exactly. Or you can watch the DOM, either way. Chance of a re-squeeze here, especially if ES can catch a bid. And just be careful, because we are in, this is obviously the third drive on the hourly. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but we just want to be a little bit careful here. Yeah, so passive seller is just these guys above me. You see the horizontal lines? Right, these are limit orders. If you see horizontal lines, the limit orders. Bubbles, these are market orders. This is delta, right? So bubbles are delta. The horizontal lines are limit orders. The bigger and darker the line, the bigger the size. You can see the size down here on the current order book. All right, and this is just my profile for the day. Oh, I've got you on the wrong one. Here we go. There we go. All right, so these are the passive sellers. See how we keep coming up? There's passive sellers here and passive buyers down here. Well, he keeps coming on and off and on and off. And the blue is also passive participants. All right, so anything horizontal is passive. The darker the color, the more size. So you can see they're adding liquidity. Someone's trying to drag the market higher. So you can see he came in at 70, then 75, then moved to 80. He's trying to attract the market to come higher at the moment. And we had a spoofer up here at 95. So this guy at 95 has moved down to 85. You can see he came off the book and a couple seconds later came on the book at 85. So he was hoping to get filled at 95. He's lost a bit of confidence. He's now looking to get filled at 95. Same with this guy here. He's hoping to get filled at 80. You can see he's moved down. Same size now. Come on the book here. Just over 70, is he? Where is he? Like 71? 72s. I was under the impression that ES, NQ, YM kind of follow each other. Why is YM continuing to dump while ES is pumping? It will be because the sector that is in YM is weaker. You got to remember, NQ is tech-based, all right, and is only 100 stocks. So if we have a look in here, right, this is the breadth of the market today, or the sectors, we should say. Right, so if we look at these sectors, what is heavy in NQ? Microsoft, Nvidia, AVGO, MU, INTC, all of these green ones down here, Apple, all of these, all right, strong. Oracle, the only one weak one in NQ. Google looking good, Amazon looking good. Guess what's not in NQ, which is elsewhere? Financials and healthcare. I talked about it this morning. Be careful with healthcare, the sector. ES will probably lag because of UNH. UNH down like pretty significantly right now. Off earnings yesterday, 19, almost 20% down on the day. All right, so healthcare and finances lagging behind. Let's zoom this in. God, Finviz website is quite buggy. It's not going to let me move it. This is like the other day. Oh no. Let that catch up. Finviz website, my server does not like it. All right, here's the move to 75s. So maybe the re-squeeze here, still passive seller there on a book at 75s. Where's that website gone? Here we go. Let's just zoom this in. Can't move this website on the other screen. It's stuck on my screen. There we go. Right, so this is why ES is lagging. Finance, healthcare, right? Finance and healthcare. This is why NQ is pushing tech, right? Think about, this is how prepared we were for it this morning, folks. Tech strong again today, healthcare weak, so might drag ES. That was at 5:23 this morning. I told everyone that, all right? So it's just understanding how and why the markets move. On Bookmap, how do you tell someone's a buyer or seller? Well, if they're above you, if they're above price, they're a seller. And if they're below price, they're a buyer. Because it means they're a limit order on the book. And you can only put a limit order on the book that way. How do you know if the same player pulling and re-entering? It is an assumption, but you can kind of see it because they come off and they come on back on at another level with the same size, right? So it's like jostling of size. So if I show you here, right, if you see this player here, comes off and he comes back on. So he's like 15 lot here or something, and he comes back on here with like a 15 lot. There you go. So he comes off for like a couple seconds, he comes back on. He gets filled here. Right, so these sellers are holding price down at 75. So we talked about this, and now you're starting to get the break below here. You need to be very careful here now. This is where the sellers need to now defend. They keep coming in. They're now attempting to defend it. This is the grey box, and they want to see a break away from this level. This is where they came in earlier. So if we make that make sense on here, this is where sellers came in earlier. Remember the 53s, they got stuck. We dipped below, they got squeezed out. They will try and get under this again to get this move. Buyers will just keep wanting to absorb this. The more sellers that get stuck here without this, the more squeeze potential this market gets. how do you see weight price come down this morning? Instead, they pull up price yesterday. Openings pull up. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Monaji. Maybe type that again for me. I'm not sure what the question is. How much credence do you give to historical daily levels? 26,120 looks like a big daily wick top from some days back in December. Found you a couple of weeks ago, learning tons. I give a huge amount, especially for the higher time frame levels, right? So remember today, why were we long the last few days, right? Even if we start off, right? These levels here are massive, aren't they? Right? Why are they massive? Swing shorts, right? Swing short, swing short, swing short, swing short, swing short, all right? If swing shorts get stopped out, what do they become? Market buyers. Oh, can't draw an M now, right? They become a market buyer, right? If a swing short stops out, they become a market buyer. What happens when they market buy? Well, we get increased energy upside, all right? It's not to say that we don't do that and then institutions sell that, all right? Use the market buyers to sell into and rotate back down, but we're not going to be the guys picking the top. We let the institutions do that. If they want to do that move there, we'll join it after a failed breakout. But right now, what we know is that we ran stops down here. We reclaimed this week. We reclaimed SMAs. We are heading for these stops, all right? And if they get above and base, then we are going to go because we've got a huge amount. We talked about it yesterday. Think about this market as boxed in, basically in, let's just call it here. All right, we're boxed in there, or certainly to here, all right, since November. Look below, fail, reclaim. Look below, fail, reclaim. Top side, bottom side, top side. If we break out over here, everyone who's short in here is going to get stuck, which means we are likely to get some upside energy. Now, the only way that will fail is if institutional sellers, right, position, let's say we have all 3 months worth of energy go buy side on a stop out. Let's just say that happens. If there's huge selling, they will pair off against that, and that's when you will get like huge aggressive buys and price not move higher, and then and only then will we get this move here. But if that doesn't happen, then we are likely to just continue this, right? Main trend. Those are the opportunities in the market. But yeah, I watch these. These are very important. That's why we've got the red box. You can see the red box is right to the high of these. Very, very important how we act in them. Probably the most important thing, daily levels. All right, back to the bottom of the grey box. Sellers still trying to defend these 53s. You can see it's a huge, huge level. Let's have a little zoom in into this. So they've defended it again here. You can see they've come in flying again here. They just want to keep this heavy, and if they can start to pivot underneath this, they've got some buy-side imbalances to clean up. If we start reclaiming, then obviously squeeze is on. So I'm leaving this alone right now. Like I said, I don't want to buy in premium. We had to buy in premium today anyway, but we bought as close to yesterday's fair value as possible. Remember, this is yesterday's fair value. This is yesterday's premium, and this would be overnight discount. So we bought as cheap as we could today to get up into here. Well, I don't really want to buy expensive to sell more expensive if I can avoid it. This was the trade today. Will you consider short down to 40s? What are you saying? Down to 40s? If it comes down to 40s. I'm not. But this is a valid trade. All right. If you move away and you fail to reclaim and buyers get stuck in there, that is a valid trade, or at least into this pivot here. But just remember, right, we are bullish in momentums. That can be a counter trend that is scooped again to go higher, right? Anyone who joined me yesterday will know, like, I avoided that same kind of trade yesterday. The heat map on TradingView accurate? I could not tell you, Rick. I've never used it, my friend. Never ever used it. The way I have footprint is I only care about delta. Is how I have all my footprints set up. Apex just released a 90% sale. Did they really? They didn't tell me. Well, there you go, everywhere. 90% sale Apex. You can use code FCT right now if you want to get a sale on. good chance to get all your accounts if that's the case. Looking for a reaction down from point of control at 710. So you're looking for that naked POC trade down. It's already coming down into that VWAP now. So you've got Globex taken, and then it can't get back up there at the moment. What future Nasdaq are you trading? I'm trading Nasdaq futures, like NQH contract. No discount on the course. Sorry, we just did a big discount all through November and December. There's no discount at the moment. I'm sorry. Two leg move down is most of the time they do, or even three leg down as possible. Yeah, they can do multiple legs, but two leg is a very common trade. If you think about it as well, when we think about trading markets, right, we want one of the first two pullbacks, right? These are very probable. Once we get to here, this can happen very often, right? So you want to be looking for the first and second leg on the pullback. They're the safest entries, first and second. The third leg, look, they don't get anywhere with it, even on a lower time frame. Doesn't mean it can't, but the first and second leg are like the main parts of the wave. Even on higher time frame, the same thing. That's why we had to be a little bit careful. You could argue the breakout was yesterday. Yesterday's pullback or overnight pullback was the first leg. Today's pullback was the second leg this morning on an hourly chart after the breakout. So the next pullback, you kind of need to be careful. Would you use 0DTE call options for the move we took? No, I don't trade options. Can you explain when green bubbles in Bookmap become misleading due to stops and take profits? How to recognize them? Misleading? I don't think they're misleading. It's just understanding what they are. If there's a big, what you don't want to assume, right? If there's a big green bubble, all that means is there's a lot of market buying activity. What matters is what happens, right? So if we've got a lot of market buying activity, it means there's a passive seller the other side. If price doesn't move higher, it means that big buyer just got caught and price will move lower away from his price, right? It's always, trading's about the reaction, whether you're looking at a key level, whether you're looking at delta, it's about noticing something, but then going, okay, so what's happening now? What's the story? So if we look at Bookmap right now, what's the story right now? Where are you guys? Right, we've just talked about all these sellers keep trying to get the force away. This big buyer comes in, 154 lot. He gets caught. He gets forced to stop out. We drop down. We absorb 40 again. 40 was the level I gave you all morning. Right, that was my stop out, was 34s and 40s. We're now reclaiming. This seller's now caught. We're going to try and take out this pivot and come up to these highs into this limit order of 75. If we break 75, what's going to happen? Probably some kind of squeeze because, oh, that's not the line I wanted, because we have, right, the top of the auction here. Sellers will try and defend this. So if we get over this level, you will probably see a squeeze out and search for liquidity up to 100 probably. All right, so it's about telling the story, who's involved. So we just had lots of market buying activity here. Price at the moment is not moving higher. So we know passive selling keeps happening at around these 65 levels, all right? So these guys here are still defending. Do I have an arrow line here? I don't know if I do. These guys here are still trying to redefend price here. And if they get squeezed out, we will probably lift and come up to 75s. Right, other thing we should note now, folks, is you are now inside your initial balance. You can see this shelf is getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. This is your sentiment for the day, is this shelf right here. All right, so price starts to move away from here. And what we talked about, you might get a squeeze out. Can you quickly go over your settings for AVP once more? Yep, just here. Row layout, ticks per row. I have it set to 2. If you want to do number of rows, I would do this to 1000. All right. And then it will look like that. All right. So either way, however you want to do it, either work. I've just been doing ticks per row. This matches my footprint. That's why I have it like this. All right. And then I have it. The only other thing I change Everything else stays the same. I just have it moved to the right-hand side. Where's that input? I don't even see it now. Placement right. That's the only other thing I changed. And then I just have point of control, up and down volume gray, and value area blue. Right, here comes the IB high. So the squeeze is on. They're coming back to those 75s. We just talked about this on Bookmap. So if we think about what we just went over, if sellers can't defend here and we get the squeeze out, we'll revisit this up here, and we should now squeeze through and come and clean out all this liquidity which is being added above into 85 and possibly up into these hundreds. This is where sellers are sitting, looking to get filled. So these are probably buyers, to be honest, just looking to fill and take some profits on this squeeze up. So grey box defended, and here's the squeeze up. So here's your initial balance high. ES trying to join in. So here we go. Here's 75s. So they've just taken a load of stops here, and the question is, can they lift this any higher now? Is there a lift any higher? And through 85s and 90s, and then you're looking for 100, and then the 100 is the red box, yeah, and then through 100, 150. All the stops, the last lot of stops are at 145, I think it actually is. ES trying to get through that, or trying to approach that high of day. I forget your name, but one of you pointed out there's a naked point of control at 70.10, so it's worth watching that. You still have gap fill potential. Remember, SPY trying to fill that gap up to 696. So SPY's trying to fill a gap up to 696. And Qs are trying to fill a gap up to 632s. All right, if we're going to do that today. It's a big if, but if we're going to do that today. Tyson's just absolutely on a heater right now. Just locked in another $4,000 today. Nice work, buddy. Here we go. So squeeze is on. So let's see if we can lift out to the hundreds. And then if we get through hundreds, 150. So this is your target here. If we can get up to the hundreds and then 150. I've got my eyes on the ETFs as well for you guys. You're getting very close to that naked point of control on ES that one of you pointed out. You were just 3 ticks away there. So maybe some resistance there on ES worth noting. So let's see what if we go back to Bookmap, so you can see what we were looking at. Defended, traded through, sellers came in, got absorbed at that same level, this horizontal level, and we'll now try and lift up. So sellers are out of money, all right? All the time we're above this 75s, they're out of the money, and the targets here are 100. Let's see if anyone's on the tape at 145. Yeah, 125 and 150. There you go, 145, 150. So they're looking at the same targets as me, these guys on the book. So all the time we're above 75s now. You actually want to see buyers just come in here and just defend this. You don't. I wouldn't want to see this roll back down to 60s if I was long. I'm not long. I'd want to see sort of 70s, 75s defended for a re-squeeze, because it's also your initial balance area, right? So you've got to be careful. Do I have experience of people getting banned buying Apex evals? I think they'll let you trade again. It normally takes like 3 months or something. But I mean, if they've done that, don't worry about it. Don't buy anymore. There's plenty of firms out there. So just use, it should mean that you've got lots of PAs in the money. So just lock those in and then use some other props if you need. What are my indicators? Anchored volume profile and my flow zones. Right, so this is all one indicator. My custom indicator. So dip's still holding. Hundreds are not far away. For me, Nick, the dailies and weeklies. Only because I'm a day trader of this stuff. But I'm sure the... I do use a yearly, in fairness. I don't really check the monthlies. Here we go, folks. Here comes the 100. So here comes the 100. Congrats if you're in this. You should get up towards these hundreds. And then through that, 150s. And look at VIX trading downside now, approaching its previous day low. So your naked point control now has been hit on ES. So really you're talking about, can we get through that? SPY gap fill, remember, is up to 96s. So you're almost there on SPY. You need 40 cents more on SPY. No, I'm not. I'm not in it. I'm not. Probably could have traded it from here, but like I said, hit my low-hanging fruit. Stopped out on this. It's a shame I stopped out on that. I wanted it to defend. Was it 35? So ran me out there. But it's okay. It's recovered. Maybe could have re-entered here. Just simple, isn't it? Like, they held grey box. I would imagine if I have a look at this candle here, what time is that? 10:30. I imagine there's some sellers trapped around there. 10:30. Yep, there you go. Sellers trapped at the low right there. All right, there's your pivot, and there's your go. And 100 and then 145 is your target. You'd want this to hold at IB, certainly to hold the top of that grey box if you were long. Remember, if you've bought this, you are buying premium to sell premium. You're not buying discount now. What do I anchor volume profile to? 9:30. Opening print. Here they go. They're going to try and lift this. Can they get up to the 100? Here they go. They're stacking 100 now. So 90, 95, 100, 105, 110. Naked point of control. Just an untested level, a fresh level. Yeah, it's definitely stuck there. At that 10s, it's tapped it now. No acceptance through it. Sorry, guys. It's slowed down a bit, so, you know, can't do much. Just calling what I can see at the moment. Can they lift this? I think you're going to get it. They're now adding liquidity higher at 115s. I think you're going to get it, folks. Just don't be too aggressive at the highs, though. Just manage your position. Your trade downside, if you're adamant on trading downside, I would say you need to leave this volume shelf. I would not be thinking short, right, until you get under here. That's your short. I really would not be thinking short above that. Unless we like come up here, spike, leave volume trapped here, right? If we have something like this, right, then maybe there's a short from here to here, and the rotation will be there. And then if you found acceptance lower, there'd be an add-on. But otherwise, do not fight this tape, guys. Please don't fight the tape. There's nothing in here. Look, we've been in a buy. Flow zones are up. We've got targets above. Right? Do not fight the tape. My footprint settings for TradingView, they're all in a video on my YouTube. I posted it maybe last weekend. Just go on my YouTube, go to recent videos. I show you everything in there. Understand everything beside volume profile, so I'll buy the volume profile course. Thanks so much. Hey, you're welcome. Look forward to working with you. Right, buyers still trying to absorb here in front of 75. They're just looking to get this shove up and fill all these sellers up into 15s at the moment. But they've got to absorb over 75. I'd feel somewhat uncomfortable if they can't do that, even though there's a shelf. Technically, they can hold all the way down here. You know, if you bought this break from here, you just want them to re-squeeze this above the IB. You want them to shove it up. You don't really want them to collapse back down into here again. But like we talked about, you need to be careful because we're on a 3 drive on the hourly and we're also on a 3 drive on lower time frame. So if we think about this, lower time frame 1, 2, 3. If we go to an hourly, since the breakout, we're going to consider this the breakout. 1, 2, 3. So you want to be careful. You want to be careful. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It just means the probability starts to become lower. They're rolling fibs. They're rolling fibs, the flow zones. Here we go. Here comes your 100. Here comes your 100. And I would love it if you get 145 today. There you go. Very close. Refresh seller here, stepping on at 95. He's now been filled. And now bidding 80s. Someone's flashing 80s. Fifth time he's flashed it. Now he's moved up to 91s, flashing 80s again. Someone's being a bit of a you know what. All right, let's see if we can get through the hundreds here for you guys. ES now finding acceptance, or trying to find acceptance over that point of control. Very close to a gap fill here. Here comes the gap fill on the SPY. All right, SPY about to fill its gap. Oh, it's not a gap fill. Sorry, it's an all-time high break. My bad. Gap fills on QQQ. So gap fill on QQQ is to 31. All-time high break is what you're close to on the SPY. My bad. Come on, Alex. Get with it. Get with it. Here comes the 100 check. 94s, trading 94s. One swipe up and you should get it. It's an 84 lot sat at 100 looking to be filled. 95s, 96s. Probably a bit of front running here and then maybe a little swipe. 96s, 96s, 97s. Come on, buyers, go and fill him. So close. So close to that big guy at 100. He just trimmed some, though. He was thicker and he moved down to sell some. I think they still get through him. Here they go. One more attempt. They should get him. So remember, lots of stops here in this red box. SPY, all-time highs. So ES, SPY now all-time highs. Is it ES all-time highs or is it just spiders? Let me have a look. Yeah, just the spiders. So new all-time highs for the spiders, not on the futures market yet, but on the spiders, new all-time highs. All right, so options traders comfortably in the money, and this thing should keep lifting. How are we doing for likes? Can we do some giveaways yet? Is the pullback towards IB? And how much short were you of that 100? 97s traded. 98.50s. Ah, what buggers. What a bunch of buggers. Come on, guys. Over 800 of you. At one point, we had 900 of you. Only 500 likes. Get these likes up. And I'm going to get ready to do an Apex giveaway for you guys now. Coming into the top of the hour. We'll do one now at when we get into the next, what's this? In 15 minutes time, we'll do a giveaway. VIX just getting absolutely clobbered. Now underneath previous day's low. Looking for the next pivot on VIX. Probably down here into 1563s on the VIX is the next pivot. Still looking for it. So here's where all the sellers stepped in, 93 to 96, imbalance there. Through that, we can probably squeeze again. No, I'm not giving away volume and order flow course. Guys, I give you so... I know you guys don't want to spend any money, but I give so much stuff and edge for free on live stream. So much stuff. So much. I've watched other people's live streams. There's not that many I respect. So I'm not going to give away all my edge in my courses for nothing. What type of tea would I recommend for better concentration? I prefer like stress relief teas than concentration teas. I don't know. If you want to know what I have, I just have like a stress relief tea, and I have, here's the pullback into this shelf here. So just be careful here, especially if ES collapses back down under those 10s. Is it 10s? Yeah, 10s and 7s for the ES. So flush coming back down to this grey box maybe. Remember, the shorts will happen, all right, if we lose this, right? If we lose this area, you want to be very careful of a fail break like here. But if we lose this, that can happen. But we're very bullish overall. We got so close there. You missed it by 6 ticks. We missed the 100 by. And Qs still haven't filled their gap. The gap on the Qs is still up at 632. So we hit a high today of 631.63. Still not filled the gap. Here's your IB. Here's the IB. Do I use ticks for my chart? No, I just trade off the minute chart. Yep, live stream every day, Monday to Friday. 9:15 Eastern time. We do pre-market prep into the open and then trade into lunch. Evan, yeah, I don't. When did you win? If you won recently, it will be next month. If you won like back end of last year, there's normally like about 2 months on them. Love that comment, Sean. Nice, man. I'm glad we're aligned. All right, so support systems down here. Here's your initial balance. This is the support system. If buyers lose this support system, then there's an argument for lower prices. Again, the big sellers today came in at 47 and at 34. 47 and at 34. Those are the big levels. For VPOC today is down at 48, right down here. So how we act in around this grey box will become very, very important. And I would not be back. So remember, we said 3 drives, 1, 2, 3. So I said be very cautious trading this third one. It's the same on the hourly. If we start to get under here, there is an argument for a backside move. There's also an argument to do very similar to what we did yesterday, which is just to trade around a core for a bit. All right, if they want to base up here for a bit and wait for earnings tomorrow, they can also do that. Here's the grey box tagged into the top of this shelf. This is just this volume profile, anchored volume profile. It's not an indicator. It's a drawing tool. It's here. There. It's just a drawing tool. So grey box being defended so far. Back to IB we go. They might rotate for a bit here while they make their minds up of what next. It's very possible. Do I think we still get 26,100? It's possible. It really depends what happens in and around this core level. Not like there was a huge amount excess at the high of day. Looks so much like yesterday. It does, doesn't it? No, I agree. VIX coming for a back test of previous day low by the looks of it after trading under it. See if they give one more leg down and if they scoop it for another go or not. You got to remember, they can be done with it. Like, we hit low-hanging fruit. My target was hit here earlier today, right here. The runner, I got knocked out. Runner, next target would have been here. And the final target would have been the top of this red box, all right? So we hit low-hanging fruit, hit, runner, runner. You almost hit runner. I mean, you're 6 ticks away. Like I always say, don't be a dick. 40 ticks, 6 ticks is absolutely nothing. How do I just determine the position and size of the box on the chart? You see this profile? Where do we get thick? Here. So where's the box? On that shelf, right? Nice hard shelf. Right? So this is where we have had a lot of volume building out. So buyers will want to defend this volume. Sellers will want to get under and use the volume to go lower. So that's why the box is this thick. It's based on the profile. Nice, Tyson. Great work. I'm not in a trade. No, I haven't been in a trade since here. Since this. That was the trade I took. I got knocked out on the runner at 35s, I think. Somewhere around here. Here, I got knocked out on the runner. I was trying to hold it for this move into here. We talked about it the whole way through the session. I'm currently not in a trade. And 5 minutes until the new hourly bar. We are trading right back down. Right, the current developing week profile is down into this level here. It's right at this POC. This is like a big level. If we let go of that, where's this next shelf on the developing week? Here. Okay, if we let go of this trade here is probable. I don't think I'm going to play the shorts today, but I'm telling you now, if we let go of this, a rotation from 50s basically to 26 flat is very probable. There's a 50-point trade there. If we do it, if you want it. I'm not saying you have to take it. It's the counter trend trade. It's the hardest trade on the book, right? It's a counter trend to what's going on, but it's very probable if we let go of that shelf. What are the red boxes? Supply, potential supply. Yep, just that one trade, mate. So that's all I took. Yes, volume profile on the right-hand side starts at the 9:30. I have it anchored to 9:30. Can we use high volume nodes as support and resistance? Yes, you can. You can. They can act as support down here. You can also use low volume nodes, by the way. It can also actually act very nice if it's like a first dip in, especially if you think about a low volume node as like an imbalance, right? Let's imagine like we hadn't done backside, right? And we just had this node here. Let's imagine this. This dip in here can be really good because their buyers are waiting to be picked up. Not now. Well, it actually is a really key level now, but not because of that. It's actually because of the higher time frame. Thanks, Jay. Okay, back to that IB. So I would just be careful here if you're a buyer. If they have failure to follow through here, it's a big if. Sellers will try and hold this here for this rotation like this. This is a much safer entry than this here. This can still absorb off this and try and complete the rotation. Absolutely can do that, but you are now in a battle of premium. All right, this is your battle. Buyers still defending this grey box. For now, we have a sell side imbalance all the way up to 87s. Just zoom this in. Where did those sellers come in? They came in at 80 and 87s. Yeah, so sellers will want to defend 87s. Through 87s, they will start to get caught potentially. Take care, Grey Kitty. Yeah, it's not been nice since we've broken out. It's been much nicer since we've broken out. Much easier trade setups once we're outside. Did ES just hold those 10s? It did. ES just held that old naked POC. It just went wick to wick and held. You might get it here. It might go for you. You might get a squeeze here. NQ's my bread and butter, Matt. Much love, Alex. Made $1,000 with the entry long. Appreciate it. Nice. Okay, we're coming up to the top of the hour, so new hourly bar incoming here. In 5 seconds, I might get a bit of injection of liquidity into this. Here we go. See if they do anything with it, like lift it. And they try. They are trying. Like we said, imbalance is up to 87s. ES looks like it wants a new high here. NQ might very well join, and you might get that 100 now. If they can get through this, what you will not want to see as a buyer is it fail this level here, right? The 87s, right? Because that will be failure to follow through, and that can lead to this move here. Here we go, 86, 87s. This is testing the imbalance we just talked about. Right up to here, 87s. And can they lift through? 88s. They can. They are trying. They want to get to the 100. New all-time highs on SPY again. New high day breakout. Into this imbalance here. Here's the 88s. Can they lift this for a new all-time high? Can you get any more through here? So this is the level that sellers are trying to defend. And if they get through here, you'll get 100 and then maybe 150s. This is a big, big level for sellers to defend here. Huge level. If buyers cannot get a high day break here, this will be a failure to follow through in my mind. Will I announce when I get in a trade? I mean, I don't know if I could have made it more obvious today. I told you where I was looking to buy pre-market. I told you where sellers were stuck. And I told you through 40s would be a squeeze trigger. I mean, there's literally like, I'm telling you when I did it. Like, there's nothing for me to do up here. I'm not looking to buy in premium for the rotation up. It's not a trade that I'm looking for today. I was looking for this trade today. That's what I was prepared for. That's what I hit. I would have loved to have been holding a runner for the continuation. But remember, I bought today at 25,940. I don't want to be buying all the way up here now. It's not a trade that I'm looking to take. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It's just not a trade that I'm looking to take. Can I show Bookmap? Is it not on me? You want it bigger, you mean? There you go. These same levels of interest, right? This was the breakout. They held. This is now looking like failure to follow through. And underneath this will be a problem if they come underneath that. Back to this like mini shelf here. 70s again. I would be very, very careful if they start to rotate this and let go. Very, very, very careful here. It's at a dangerous point here. It's messy. VIX keeps approaching previous day low. If VIX starts trading inside previous day low, we might struggle for a bigger breakout. If it keeps rejecting it, might be all right. Yeah, all the Bookmap setups are all in the volume profile course, right? So volume profile and order flow course. I go over Bookmap, footprint, volume profiles, how to trade them. Everything's in that course. So I wasn't in chat earlier. You mentioned your play before the open. No play before. There was no play before the open. Just this drive. I was saying we talked about why I was looking for this before the open. This is what I was planned out for before the open, right? So we talked about it on stream and right here. Talked about it right here, right, in Discord. Right, this is what I was looking for. And possibly later on in the week, if we can find acceptance above 26,120, which is what we're trying to get up into here, above this, maybe there's a continuation trade. What did I use for confirmation? Just the sellers that got trapped at the lows today. So down here, sellers got trapped underneath the 40, right? So they got trapped. It wasn't the best. I would have liked a better auction, but you can see where I've marked it out, right? These sellers got trapped. There's your 40, right? Big sellers came in, delta flipped from negative to positive, and then we held the pullback. That was another seller got trapped again here at 45. So that was a confirmation. It's what I always want to see. If we're coming into a demand level and sellers get trapped down there, that's when I'm like, yeah, we're going. Right, this thing is trying to break out. It's trying to get up to the 100. Yes, it's trying to get going. Back to that key level again. Can we get acceptance? You should really squeeze through the 100 now and start going, but it's struggling. They keep unloading inventory up here. You do not want a failed breakout. If you're a buyer up here, you do not want a failed breakout. You want to see it come and rip through and into this red box. And if you do that, you might have some fun here. You might even get the 50s. Where am I from? I'm originally from London, UK. Here they go. So they're going to try again at the hundreds. Is there liquidity above? Yeah, liquidity stacked all the way up to 10s, 15s, and even 25s now. So hopefully you get a lift straight through. A nice stop run, lift you up into 25s would be fantastic. And remember, we're watching for gap fill on QQQ into 32, 632 on QQQ. Here you go. High day should be coming up here for you folks. Here's the 100 check. You should just pop straight through this and get a nice like shove through it at this point. Shouldn't be too hard. Come on. Give it to the guys and the gals. Give it to all of them. You should get it. So much liquidity resting up here. You should just get a swipe. They've reloaded 100 again. 100 lot at 100. You should come and take him out. Come on. I think you get it, Serge. I hope you get it. I know a lot of you have got a TP up there. You should get it. There is liquidity resting above it. It should come and swipe it all. It's very, very close to doing it now. Just remember, don't be a dick for a tick. You missed it by 4 ticks earlier. You should get it now. Here it comes. Here it comes. 100 lot, 100 lot, 100 lot, 100 lot, 100 lot. Just watching to see if it gets filled. He's starting to get very close. Come on, Bookmap, move down. I've got to see you. Trading 95s. We're so close to filling him. They're rebidding at 85s now. You just want this to squeeze. You don't want it to stall out and pull back. You just want to squeeze out at this point. And rip like another 10, 20 points higher would be nice on the squeeze. I cannot believe that's it. Come on. VIX right into previous day low. That's a big level as well on the VIX. Right into PDL. Need VIX to let go of that and trade lower, and then you'll get more juice. It's coming, mate. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. It's just going to make it really sweaty and hard for you. But I think it is. I think it's coming. I hope it's coming for you. It's funny. They're still stacked there, but you got liquidity higher. Just watch the VIX. So it's the only thing I'd say right now. VIX trading right at previous day low. If VIX starts to squeeze through that, you might see a bit of weakness coming to ES, which would not be ideal for where we are placed timing-wise on NQ. You were trying to short 630 QQQ. I mean, yeah, I like, no reason to. There was no reason to be short down there. Okay, back down to these imbalances. Still absorbing. Hopefully, for you guys who are long, you build some liquidity out in here and you complete this. And then hopefully, one can hope you get this move up here. Buying delta coming in here. You're looking a bit better. I think it's coming, guys. You're looking better now. You're looking better. Some strong buyers stepping in here. Once you clear 100, there should be like a 10 to 20 point like little ripper. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. 3 ticks away. Fill them for their partial. For goodness sake. For goodness sake. Oh my God. 3 ticks. The edge of the red box. It's holding up well. Once you get through that, we can look up here to the top side of that red box. What's the gap on QQQ? 5th of November, JD. Go back to the 5th of November. It's like trading at around 632. Right, so QQQ. Go on to a 4-hour. This right here. This old close. It's actually a tiny bit higher. 3209. 3209 up here. That was the close, and we've never filled it to the cash gap close. Man, they are being a cock tease, aren't they? We want a happy ending here. We don't want some edging. Can we get a happy ending here for chat, please? Jeez. Oh, it's funny. One last attempt. Is trying again. It's not even big size up there to fill. They really shouldn't be struggling this much. VIX starting to pull back off the previous day low. That's what you want to see. You were 1 tick away there. You just traded 99.75. You're a tick away from filling that guy. The options on Apple you'll get the volatility once the earnings come out. Is that Wednesday night or Thursday night? I forget which day Apple is. I think it's Wednesday, is it? It used to be Thursday. Hang on, let me have a look. I put it in the newsletter. I can't even remember. Thursday. So after close Wednesday, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla. After close Thursday, Apple, SanDisk, but Apple's the main one to be watching. What we've got after close today? Anything important? Not really anything I'm interested in. Still holding, dip still holding. Hit it gun. One more time for 100. One more time. They're edging you so hard today. It's coming. Thanks, Super Prime. Appreciate it. I want to do a giveaway. I forgot. We'll do a giveaway. Once we hit the 100, if we can get 100, we'll do this Apex giveaway. What are my visions for today? Well, we've already hit my first target. Second target is 120. Third target, we got to go to like a 4-hour or something. Yeah, it will be these up here. We can put some lines on these. This block here. Block here. That's what we're looking to trade to. These are all the stops. So there's one lot of stops here at 100, and then through that into 20s, then through that into 30s, and then through that into 45s. All right, these are all stops. All right, so swing stops are here, 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 and here. Ultimately here. Over here, all right, if we base and hold then over this, the rest of the week we are going to be very, very bullish. If we do a failed breakout and start losing, I mean, depends how we build out profile, then we can think about a rotation later in the week. But this is where we're trying to get to. If you read the weekly newsletter, you will know where we're trying to get to. You absolutely know already where we're trying to get to. This is making it ridiculously hard to move that extra tick. It's only 125 lot. Getting stuck here. The longer you're stuck here, the worse it is. How do you use imbalances on the footprint for your trading? Well, you just got to think all in imbalance is where we got very, very aggressive very, very quickly. So if we think about this, right, this big move, it means there'd be limit orders still sat there waiting to get filled. So they got filled and then we trade higher. So that's how you would use an imbalance. I'm just using that as an example, assuming there's an imbalance in there. All right, so they can be areas of attraction where the market wants to move to, where there are resting orders still waiting to get picked up. Come on, just swipe it. Jeez. Happy ending, yeah. Please, happy ending. One tick away again. Did we just get it? We hit it. Woohoo! Happy ending. That guy just got taken out. All right, so you've hit next TP. We hopefully should squeeze up here to like 15s and above. Here you go. That's what you're looking for. All right, let's see if you can get price acceptance over 100. So that's all you're looking for now. Price acceptance over 100 for a continuation of a squeeze. But you should have locked most jaws in. So that's TP2 hit. If you held from this morning, all right, if you held from this morning, that was TP1. This is TP2, and this is TP3. Okay, so you've hit TP2 now. Did any of you hold from that move this morning? Did any of you get that? Or any of you still long from this like 140 trigger? No, 940 trigger, sorry. Big trade up over 650. Nice. Took all at TP1. Yeah, same as me, mate. Got out and got back in. Nice. Profit at TP1 and ran. Hey, it's still a good day. Still got over 100 points. So 120 points was TP1. And this is, where would you now have got up to? How many points is this? There's your 160, 164, 165 point. You get high day, you get over 200 point trade if you get this move up to the 45s. All right, so this is how we try and trade here. I try not to scalp unless we're in a range. When we're in a range, I will happily scalp. When we're moving out of a range, I look to try and hit those targets. Yeah, the yen carry trade is a very interesting. It's yet to unfold, and it might very, very well unfold. Very possible. There are some big amber signals happening in the market right now, but I don't think we're there yet. But we will see. We will see. You're starting to squeeze now. I'm telling you, watch QQQ into 32s, right? It's where Q's is trying to get to. Channel review ES. Yeah, you'll be looking at the same kind of thing, mate. Right, squeezing out, beautiful squeeze out. What are your targets? Looking left, you've just taken target 1. Your next target is probably here, 20s and 27s and then 36s. All right, that's it. That's your target. Look at the expansion. Where was this low? Very similar to what we did on NQ. Same kind of setup. Buying the dips this morning. You're at the 1618, so it's TP1. 24s, 25s next. So liquidity here, 1618 is the same level as this liquidity here into sort of 17s. Big TP here. Next level for a measured move will be into 24s, and then liquidity sat there at 27s. And then look, 2618 is the all-time high. All right, it is also sat up there with liquidity. So the fibs are matching very, very well with where resting stops are right now. Very, very well. I mean, what do I know? I don't know anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's just pure luck. I just hope. I come to the market each day. I don't do any prep. Close my eyes, and I just hope that I get it right. It's been unfolded. Well, I mean, in parts of it, you're talking about the yen carry. In parts of it has, but we haven't seen the weakness. Obviously, we're seeing it in the Japanese market. It's just, do we start selling in the US holdings? Am I from Barcelona? Why do I sound like I'm from Barcelona? I'm not Catalan. I wish I was. Beautiful part of the world. Love it there. Okay, I tell you what, we've hit target. Let's see how many of you are on stream. We're doing Apex giveaway. I'll make a little tea or cup of coffee, and then when I come back, we will announce the winner. So how many of you are in here? Almost at 600 likes. Give me 2 more likes, and we're going to do this giveaway. There we go. Beautiful. Well done, folks. That wasn't too hard, was it? AI told me to long here. It's hilarious. What copy would I recommend? Affordable Indicators. They're about to have a sale, though, so I would wait a week if I was you. Okay. Code FCT. That's your code for 90% sale on Apex. And for most of the prop firms, all right, code FCT. Other than Take Profit Trader, you can use code FlowZone. Type it once in chat. And when I come back from making a cup of coffee, we will announce a winner of a free Apex account. And I'll be right back. Just type it once, folks. You don't need to spam it. If you spam it, Nightbot just bans you and you don't get a chance to win. So just type it once and I'll be right back. Let me get a refill. All right, let's pull this winner. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Deadeye Dave. Deadeye Dave. Are you here, Deadeye Dave? What a great name. Fantastic name. Let me know you're here in chat, Deadeye. Uh-oh. Deadeye Dave, are you here? Give you a couple more seconds. You got to let me know you're here, my friend. If you're not here, we're going to re-roll it. All you guys hoping he's not here. I'm going to give you 20 more seconds, Deadeye. Okay. Just in case he comes back, guys, we're just going to give him a couple more seconds. Okay, we're going to re-roll in 5, 4, 3. You don't need to type it again. 2, 1. Russian 497. Are you here, Russian 497? Yeah, there you go. Russian 497 wins a free Apex account today. I'm going to make a note of your name. If you could please just send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube so I know it's you. And you send that to info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, info@flowzonetrader.com. Starting to see a little bit of weakness at these highs here, folks. You're still bullish overall, but definitely seeing some weakness here as you start to lose this level. All right, there is potential for a rotation back down at some point. I'm not playing shorts today. I want to make that clear. All right, so email me info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, info@flowzonetrader.com. What time frame am I on? This is on a 1 minute time frame. Dave, you were here. Ugh, why didn't you reply, Dave? What happened? I tell you what, Dave. I'll honor it, Dave. I will honor it for you. I'm making a note of your name. I will honor it for you, even though you didn't answer. All right. So if you do the same thing, just send me a screenshot of you logged in to info@flowzonetrader.com. You're welcome. No worries. You're welcome. What do I think of 26,077? 77, just around the IB. I mean, it's an interesting level. It's definitely a pivot. The short will come underneath. We can very easily do this for the rest of the day. Look how we building out volume here. Look how thin we are under here. We can easily do this. If we start to lose that rotation under can happen. I certainly don't want to be long up here. Certainly not. But we're starting to see, what was the top of that auction look like? It was probably quite good, I would imagine. It's a pretty good high auction up there. Some buyers caught up here. So if they can't reclaim that, Just came down to that imbalance. They can't reclaim that, and you start to see a backside fade. Under here is what gets important. Until that point, not really, but we will see. You just got to remember, if you're going to try and short today, you are trying to play the higher time frame pullback leg. It's literally the hardest thing you can do, but it is potentially going to set up. Dave paid a sub as well. Yeah, well, Dave's winning one. He's winning one. we will honor people who come back. Is the short scenario now? It's only if, yeah, I mean, one thing I would say is we are running out of room on the daily, right? Those who have done the course will understand this. Look where we are on the daily. Forget the red box. We're very close to this top Bollinger. There isn't much room left. Now, arguably, we can poke outside of it, like we have done down here. Like, this is quite a big move outside of it. The best thing that the market could do would just be to go sideways for a day or two and let this Bollinger and 5-day start to do this. And then this can actually help the market. Well, we've hit the targets. Look how big these candles have been the last 2 days. We've hit our targets. If we can come outside of this, it'd be really fun. And I would say go back and look at the newsletter. I think in the newsletter I would have put all these key levels in. See what I get for the bullish scenario this week in the newsletter. Let's see what Alex said this week for bulls. Bullish scenario. From a weekly perspective, despite value migrating lower, bears fail to establish sustained control. Bulls will look to defend 25,700 or quickly reclaim it following downside flush. The prior weak point of control, 25,890, remains untested, which is what we did yesterday. And acceptance above that level could act as a catalyst for a squeeze towards 26,000 to 26,100. It's exactly what we've had. Beyond that zone, sustained acceptance and development of new structure will provide the foundation for more meaningful bullish expansion, which is exactly what I just drew out for you on the daily. So it was all there in the newsletter. It was literally all there. Anything below 700s, which flushes and reclaims, right, which was Mondays, under 700, overnight or Sunday, Monday, under 700 reclaims is bullish. And then you're looking for a rotation towards 890, which is what we tried to do on Friday and we did on Monday. There's the 890 take and a hold above that. We're looking for 26,000. Ding, 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 ding. All right. And then 26,100. Bing, 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 bing. All right. So we've done everything that we look for on the weekly newsletter. Now it's just about acceptance. What do we do? Literally hit those targets nice and early this week. It's beautiful. Do I trade only on the 1 minute after finding high time frame? Yeah, like, so I look at dailies and then hourlies and then 5 minutes and I execute on the 1 minute. Just execution. You don't have to do that. You can execute on whatever you're comfortable with. 5 minutes, fine. What setting do I use on Bollinger Bands? Standard settings on dailies. That's all I'm looking at. Where can you subscribe to the newsletter? It will be down below, or if you click the link at the top that's pinned to chat, right? Click that link, that Linktree. It will be in there. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. USAR waking up, is it? We put that in the swings. We put that in the swings this morning. Thank you for that. I haven't had a notification yet. I want a little bit deeper if I can. I want it back into a retest of this if I can. Would be very greedy, or at least, let me measure this out. Getting close to 50. I'll watch 24s and 22s. If we can get down into there, it'd be really nice. Plenty of time. Don't need to rush that. I mean, remember, they only announced the government investment yesterday. Alex, do we have a grey box node up here? Yep, one here. No, just one. None overnight. I slept overnight. I missed all of this, which is annoying. Just this trade. This is it. This is it for me today, folks. This is all I've taken. Maybe coulda, woulda, shoulda re-entered here. I think we were looking at that, and I got caught teaching. If I can remember correctly, I think we were looking at this, and I got caught teaching. There's someone in chat apologized for making me miss it, but got it themselves. So. So that one cost me. Well, I would have got out at 100. So it cost me another 50 pointer. But it's like, it's all right. But these are the trades we talked about. Besides being free, it's clean, clear. The newsletter is worth the shot. It really includes useful information. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I just tell you like what happened in the previous week, news to be aware of, or earnings, anything like that, looking at the week ahead, and then things I'm looking at for the week ahead. Do I think the rest of the week with big tech and FOMC market can go higher? Very possible. It all depends on, what the earnings are. Is it already priced in? Are we pushing because we're pricing it in early? Is it going to be a sell the news event? I don't know, folks. I don't know. All I know is what the market's doing right now. Each day, that's all we can trade. VIX wants to go 1586s. I think it already did that. It already retested 5-minute flow zones. I see what you mean. You're looking at that pivot from what 10 this morning. It's just trading. You got to understand, it's trading around the pivot from yesterday at the moment, and it can't get acceptance back through previous day low. If it finds acceptance back through previous day low for a squeeze back out on the VIX, then maybe this market would get weak. But we're not seeing that right now. We're in a slow, grindy market. You don't want to fade a slow, grindy market. I've heard other traders interested in longs on MSTR. Let me have a look for you, JD. MSTR. Is this one with the massive Bitcoin? This is the one, right? My brain can't work. This is the one which has a big Bitcoin holding. Is that right? You can't even do that pivot properly. Yeah, okay, it is. All right, let me do... I mean, if they don't get liquidated, weak at the moment. Midpoint in this block. It is interesting. It's holding midpoint of that block. It's very interesting. 152s. Yeah, I'm not surprised they're interested in it. It's if a hold of 152s risking 102s and a reclaim of, if we go mid to mid. Yeah, there's a trade here. A 152 to a 384 trade is possible. It's possible, but it really depends on BTC, and I'm not convinced that this thing's out of the woods yet. This is now turned resistance, and we've only done a single leg. There has been big institutional buying, but if we see weakness, step in here. All right, we've built out a lot of liquidity now there. If they can't do this move, there's only one place we're going, and that is a wash of this. And that's what would worry me on MSTR, is that if this gets weak, it's so pinned on, if this gets weak, this will do the same. It'll come for these into the 100. I don't love exposure to crypto. It's just me personally. But I do have some exposure, but like not on a... I'd rather trade like wait and and take I bet when it's ready. I would still love this into here. Remember, this is the like 1,000 plus day cycle. There's the pullback. We want up to 70% of a pullback so far off the high we've seen. 33, we want up to 70. Let me check if that's measured to BTC correctly. Up to 70. Oh my gosh, that would be colossal. Well, I can't see that happening. Cannot see that happening. Never know though. What would the measured move be there? Oh, it's fucking possible. It's possible. I mean, that is an average move on a sell. 70%, which would take you to the 161. Yeah, that's a leave alone for me until it's going to have to reclaim. I'd rather buy late on a reclaim than anything else. For me personally. Riley, R-I-L-Y. That is fucking thin. Is that gapping up off some news, or has it had earnings? That, I mean, there's no volume in this. What is this? It looks good. Very thin, though. Oh, it's looking for this gap fill. You've got to trade up to... Let me just clean this up, make sure that is a gap. Yeah, it's looking to trade into this ledge at 1450s. I'll be looking for that. I'll be watching 12s and 1450. Where are you trading right now? So yeah, you want to watch 12s as your next spot. Did it get stuck there? Yeah, just shy of it. There you go. So I'll be watching 12s and 1450s. If you get acceptance over 12, you're looking for 1450s. Over that, you're looking for 21s. But it's very thin. No volume in that name. And we're stuck. It's literally like yesterday. We're just stuck. You see how important it is to like take profit when you hit low hanging fruits. So important. I joined a very really expensive Discord back in September that I'm unhappy with, and one of the trades from there that I'm in is a call option for 300 on Oracle. I'm very worried about this. Yeah, you're miles out. I mean, you're miles out the money. You're asking a lot. It's not going to happen. Well, hang on. When's the expiry? You're on a leap. 18th to the 6th. So you basically got until mid-June. You got to do 65%. I don't know, man. That doesn't look good. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm interested in Oracle longs, but yeah, I'm interested in this area here. If we start to do sideways and we get shorts get caught and earnings come out good, I'm interested in a mean reversion back to 230. And then if we get acceptance, great. But yeah, I don't think you're going to hit that target, mate. I'm sorry if someone's got you into that. Okay, starting to leave this grey box. Sorry, I need to focus in here. You're starting to potentially leave the grey box. So if you're interested in the counter trend trade, it is now setting up. All right, all the time you're staying heavy under here. There's a rotation. I would be watching into sort of 74s and then 62s and then 45s. All right, so if you want to play the short, I am not playing this short because it's counter trend. But if you want to play this mean reversion short, this was the trigger. It was the grey box rejection. It is here. It's not. Let me put this on for you. It's so annoying. It is here. All right, to here. All right, that is your TP1. TP2 is top of grey box. TP3 all the way down here. This is possible. It is possible we come down into this area. Definitely possible. But like I said, this is the hardest trade in the book. It's a counter trend trade. It might well do it for you. So if you've been waiting for that trade, it's now leaving that volume for you. So TP1 about to hit already into IB high. All right, so TP1 is IB high right here. Remember your counter trend, so you need to be like more aggressive with your take profit and more aggressive with like managing the positions, as in like move the stop. Don't be sitting in something hoping, because if it wants to stop here and go all the way back up, it will, because it's a counter trend trade. We don't know how far that pullback's going to go. AUK, it's just the anchored volume profile to the 9:30 open. Took the trade and you're already out. There you go. ES single Prince and C period. I haven't got my TPO on the ES. I'm not going to put it on. Where is it? Yeah. All right, so if they retest this and stay heavy, there will be a rotation. If they reclaim this, it would be a trap like earlier. Remember, overall, you're bullish, so be careful of this. But if they retest this and stay heavy, you should then try and get down into this next block down here. This is your TP2. Okay, so you basically hit TP1, which was this purple bar, right? This is your next one. You do not want a reclaim of grey box. Grey box reclaim will be squeezed back out. This is why I don't take these trades. They're counter trend trades. They're the hardest trade in the book. Like I said, you've got to be very aggressive with your stop. No, I've said all day. I'm not playing counter trend in a breakout market. I'm just showing you like what is possible. But I'm always telling if I'm going to take the trade, I'll make that very clear. I've said the whole time I'm not playing the counter trend short. How to place a trade in Tradeify Gold Micro. Please give me a quick tutorial. I don't trade in Tradeify, but you're going to need to trade MGC and then place a trade. Buy or sell it, whatever you're looking to do. But I don't trade in Tradeify. So deep pullback flow zones holding, IB holding, unfinished business higher. If they reclaim this, right? If they reclaim this, they will use all this liquidity who just joined in for this break to do this move here. Remember, we talked about this being an option if they can't do this. This is your pivot, which created this high. This is the pullback. They've rebid it. If they do this, they can continue higher. That's why I'm not fading it. For me, there's no trade setup now. If I was still in this long from down here without getting knocked out in small size, I'd be willing to just sit in this and try and get all the way up into this target here of 145s. Nice, Stephen. Great work. Great work. The volume node moved up. Not really. Kind of same area. I guess you could argue it's at 96s. Maybe a little bit here, to be fair. Oh, don't move that one. Move this one. Maybe a bit more like this. ES looks a bit dangerous here to me. VIX has reclaimed previous day low. Might go for a little squeeze out on the VIX. If it does, ES might start dropping. Do we have unison here with the market? I'll give you readout on the mag, by the way. Tesla 0.06% up, basically flat on the day. Nvidia 1.66% up. Microsoft 2.18% up. Meta 0.41% down. Google 0.76% up. Amazon 1.55% up. Apple 2.17% up. Come on, Apple, get going. Let's have some blowout earnings. I'm still basically all my core positions still net long in Apple, so hopefully we can really get going. Can't get going on my Netflix. Still down about 7%, but just got a toe wet in that, and that's it. I'm up on the rest. Apple's up over 20%. AMD's up over 51%, but I'm small size in that now. Unfortunately, Amazon is up 7.65%. Meta, I'm up 7.42%. Open Door, I'm holding one share just for shits and giggles, up 189% on that. Remember, I sold most of that, 500% up. Almost into lunch, folks. We're almost there. This market is starting to get a little bit choppy here while it makes up its decision of what next. Can I give you a brief overview of how prop concepts work across multiple firms and accounts? Yeah, you just use, well, assuming, I would not do it unless you're profitable, but if you're profitable, you just use a trade copier. My personal one I use is affordable indicators, all right? And then you link them all together. You take one trade and it copies across them all. That's how you leverage your accounts together. Hey, Canary, how's it going? Apple bouncing between the 20 and 100. Let me have a look on the daily AAPL. Yeah, back to the 20-day with the gap up. It needs to break above sort of 61s. 61 break. But 70 is the big level, right? Up into 70. 50-day there, big node up there on Apple. But we are bouncing off that lower Bollinger Band. So like even, you see how markets like big tech, we respect Bollinger Bands. Can't trade outside it, can't trade below it, back to mean. Trend down with 5-day lower Bollinger Band, and almost got down into the 200-day. Nope, too low, we go up into 20-day. If we get acceptance through this, up to 50-day and this high volume node up here. And by that point, this will probably be down there. And then we'll have to do this for a bit and then see if they open it up for acceleration or if they want to come back and tag. I am long from 220, I think it is. So I'm long from down, I think it was here, or was it August? It might be 202s. I think it's 202s. So I'm long from down here, right? And I did not sell. It's a long-term position. I'm looking to hold that, hoping for one of these. We'll see. I might have taken like a couple of profit takes up here, but my core position is still long, looking for that. Right, rejecting that grey box now. So this is your question for you shorts. Are you going to get that move down? Yeah, there's a swing trading channel on Discord. I notified two things I'm interested in this morning. Yeah, if you go to the Discord right here. So at the moment I'm looking at USAR and UU, and I've put in anything else that I'm interested in. My core position is what I'm looking at. They're always in there for everyone on Discord. So we did very well from that last year. Our biggest winner was was that what was it called? One I just called out, open. 500+% on that we got last year. On commons, not on options, on commons. Short still valid? I mean, technically, it's counter trend. Technically, yes. Like for me, it's not a trade I would take. Technically, yes. You haven't traded the other side of it, but I would be very, 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 very concerned that we don't lift, because this is your swing low, this is swing high, this is a pullback which is holding. But technically, if you are adamant in trading this short all the time, you can reject that. You can be looking for this move here. It's just you're running out of time into lunch here. And remember, they've got targets above. They have targets above. You basically came to TP1. You basically came to 74 and defended it. So if we keep defending the initial balance, then we're potentially in trend day higher, aren't we? All right, if we keep defending IB, we're in trend day higher scenario. But there is potential for a deeper pullback. It's not something I would play personally, but it's up to you guys to manage your own positions. So I do Forex, but I'm also looking at future prop firms. So I want to know that in Forex there is pips. How can I calculate pips and futures? Ticks. They're in ticks. All right. So depending on what you're trading, will depending how many ticks there are per point and how much that's worth. Yeah. So in NQ it's 4 ticks a point. Bollinger Bands just completely normal gibberish. There's no change in them. They're standard Bollinger Bands, which are 2 standard deviations away from a 20-day. That's all it is. Yep, just standard Bollinger Band on TradingView. Again, guys, go on my YouTube channel. All of this is there for free. I go through all of this for free on YouTube. You can have a look. Yeah, CVD is showing more aggressive sellers stepping in here for sure. It's trying. We're failing to make. Did CVD make a new high when we made a new high? No. So there's passive selling up here. CVD is selling us that there's passive selling up here, and that aggressive sellers are trying to step in here. At the moment, we've not got a breakdown though. We're going to need seeing absorption versus here, which is here. So this is a very big, highly contested area, as we know. It's not, like I said, it's not a trade I would look to take. It's just something that might happen, might set up. What does defending initial balance mean? It means that they're unwilling to trade under this purple line, that they keep trying to soak this purple line. So if you're short here, you need to take profit into this, partial into this, because you know it's a key level. Then here, and then if you get under this, you've got all these VWAPs, right? All these VWAPs. Might be asking a lot for that. We'll have to see if the market wants to give back and take profit into lunch, which you're now 1 minute away from. You showed on YouTube that you can get Orderflow for free. Does it work with Rhythmic Apex? No, not with Rhythmic. Not that I know of, unless they offer it. You will need to use it with a Tradeify setting. How do I know where IB is? It's the highest and the lowest point of the first hour of trading in New York. So the high and low of 9:30 to 10:30. So here's the short. It is starting to play out. So again, TP1 will be this purple line, then the top of the grey box. So you're coming into purple line here. So TP1 is here or hereabouts, and underneath that, grey box. So this is second trade starting to potentially play out, but you must respect this level here. No, I just delete that. So here's your TP1. All right, and your TP2 is here. Is this developing profile as well? Yes, it is. So blue line and grey box, very, very key. This is TP2. I would not have expectations below that. If you get very lucky, you will come down. We have a low volume node down here. If you got very, 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 very lucky today, you would get this move here. But I think it's more likely that they just try and trap and keep you locked in between here and here, all right? And the rotation might happen here for the afternoon. As you can see, volume being built out. So TP2 is here. You've basically hit TP1. I'm going to consider that you've hit it because you're only a point away. I'll try and stick with you for the next minute or two. I do have to walk my dog, but just in case you get it. VIX starting to go through that pivot now, so trading back towards the 16s now. So like we talked about, once VIX reclaims previous day low, there's a chance for more weakness. If we think about VIX, we used it as the reclaim. Once VIX reclaimed the green line, there you go, reclaim a green line, squeezes up, we see weakness come back into the market. So purple line still holding for now, folks. All right, folks, that's me done. Out of here for the day. Great session, just one and done for me today. Shame it knocked out my runners. I would have loved to have held for a bit more. Congratulations, those who took any of those trades with me today. These were the trades that I gave you. All right, so 2 hit. This one's pretty much hit TP1 if you have wanted to take it. This is my least favorite trade of the day. I do not love counter trends. They're the hardest trade in the book, but there you go. It is there. I would be very cautious now for the rotation. The rotation between sort of 26,092 and 26,062 or 26,046s. So I would imagine we might fill in some of this and do a bit of a dance here. All right. Weakness can come if we start losing this. All right. There can be a failed breakout and a claim back inside. But if we lose this, you will see weakness come in the market. I am somewhat skeptical. I think you might find that you spend most of the rest of the day in here, unless they get very, very bullish and go for these stops above. These are the areas above. So if you're aiming for higher, if you're still holding, your TP should be sort of 117 to 124, 130 to 134, and then this high of 146, right? TP1 now hit on this downside move. And I'm going to go and walk my dog. Those in Discord, I will be back later. Congratulations, everyone. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Love trading with you guys here. It's so much fun. Makes it so much better than trading by myself. If you want to support the channel, because I do this completely for free, use my code, okay? Code FCT for all your prop firms. 90% sale on Apex right now, or use code FlowZone if you're trading with Take Profit Trader. That money just goes back into the channel, helping me produce free educational content for you, etc., etc. If you want to do the courses, there's no pressure, but if you want to, the links are all down below. I'll see you, should be on stream tomorrow morning, and the reason I say that, I have got some personal stuff going on, but I should be on stream tomorrow morning. I will not be trading FOMC, so let's see if we get a setup. Peace and love. Those in Discord, I'll see you in the afternoon. Take care and use hard stops, right? Use hard stops. Take care.